what I'm gonna tell you that I did. Okay, so I go to this little joint called Show Tunes every week. It's Show Tunes on screens all over, and it's me and a bunch of gay boys dancing and singing along to like Grease and stuff, right? So it's really exciting, and I love it. Well, the thing is you know, I'm single, and most of the guys there aren't interested for whatever reason, and but I got a good friend Bobby, and he sometimes, you know, hits on these guys, and one day he goes and he's dancing with this guy, and he's all like, "You're cute," and the guy's like, "Thanks, I'm straight." So Bobby, good friend, comes back, comes back to me and says, "This guy's straight." So then I go to dance with him, right? He's like, "You're really pretty." So I was like, okay, cool. We become Facebook friends, you know, iPhones right then. And then later he texts me and he's all, "You want to come over?" And I was like, "Sure, what are we going to do?" And he's like, "Watch Show Tunes." And I was like, okay. So I'm getting kind of excited. I get to this guy's apartment, and it's like 3 floors up. Take the stairs. And he's really excited, okay? Like, this guy looks more excited than I was, and I had been hanging out at gay clubs for 6 months, so, like, I was really excited, you know what I mean? And he's all like, you know, we're walking up, I'm, like, out of breath by the time we're up to his apartment, and we get in, and then I realize he has roommates, but they're supposedly asleep in these other rooms. And all the lights are off and it's really dark. And we walk in, he doesn't offer me a drink or something to eat. He's like, "Let's go to my room." Okay. So we go straight to his room. And I'm thinking, the first thing I see and notice, there's no couch, there's no TV. There's a huge bed and a big computer screen. All I know about guys in their bedrooms with computer screens kind of grosses me out. But I'm like, I guess he's going to do the whole DVD thing, this is fine. So we're standing there, and he wants to kind of like give me the tour, but like I said, we just bolted to his room, so it's like a tour of his room. There's 2, not 1, 2 bikes. Not like cool motorcycles, like pedal-it bikes, all right? I haven't been on a bike in quite a while, but I'm trying to act interested, like, "Oh, you do marathons or something?" And he's telling me all these stories, yeah, he does all this stuff, whatever, okay? I don't want to tell you this, but there was a life-size, if that's even real, life-size version of Tasmanian Devil stuff. Okay? It's sitting there with all these like medals around its neck from him winning stuff. I had to pretend that Taz didn't exist in that room in order to continue with the night as planned. So anyways, I'm like, let's get down to, you know, watching Show Tunes. He's like, "Well, which one do you want to watch?" Because of course he's got several, which is a little bit like, okay. So I'm like, let's watch The Sound of Music, because I had just, for the first time, seen Sound of Music like a year ago. I know, but it's amazing, right? Julie Andrews. And so we put that in, because it's so beautiful. And she finishes the song, "Hills Are Alive," and I'm like tearing up a little bit because it's so beautiful. And I'm thinking, we gotta change the movie, because this isn't gonna get me a good makeout session or anything else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm too excited. There's this precious little kid. So anyways, I skipped the whole part of how we began watching this Show Tune. So I'm like thinking, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna sit on the bed. So I'm sitting on the edge of this bed, and then he's like, I don't really know how this is gonna work. He turns the screen so it's facing the bed, and then he gives me one of these pillows, the kind where, like, when you were young, like, you put it on the floor, you're watching the Wonder Years leaning back, and she's got like arms, you know what I mean? So I'm laying back on it like this, right? But it's kind of small, and he then comes and lays next to me, but like is trying to share this little arm thing, okay? This stage doesn't add 10 pounds, all right? This arm thing's barely fitting me. So like the arm things are just like smashed out. It's a line behind us. And because we're so close, it's like so awkward because my arms and legs are like this, and he's right next to me, arms like this. No like hand holding or anything. It's like we're jammed together in the most awkward position I've ever been in, watching The Sound of Music on his computer. And finally I'm like, let's watch something else. What do you got? You know, so then we decide on Moulin Rouge. Right, fun. Okay. He starts singing every single word to Moulin Rouge. Okay? He starts with a song, I don't know, I mean, I'm not really into it. single word, and he's doing the old, like, I'm proud that I know the words to this, so I'm gonna, like, look at you and sing it to you. I don't know where he was going. Did he think that was gonna turn me on, that he knows all the words to Moulin Rouge? He was barking up the wrong tree. Or maybe I was, I'm not quite sure, but, so then, you know, there's kind of like this middle part where I'm trying to, like, talk over the movie because I'm not even really wanting to watch the movie. I mean, when somebody asks you over to watch show tunes, I know that doesn't mean watch show tunes, does it? So now I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, something, tell me about yourself or whatever. So he starts talking about how he's doing all these classes. He's, like, real ambitious and stuff, right? So he's all, oh, I do these yoga classes, and I'll show you this yoga move. So I'm like, oh, good, we can get up. So we get up off the bed. Well, okay, he's wearing basketball shorts. And he jumps off the bed, and nothing is hidden. And I go to jump off the bed, and I'm like, ugh. And he just, instead of acting like nothing's happening or like turning to the side and adjusting or doing anything, he just looks down and goes, you're pretty. This is a true story, okay? And I'm like, thanks. What do you say? You know, so then he's doing this move, you know, like, whatever. So then I'm like, oh, this is a yoga move I did, you know, 16 years ago. And then I kind of fall into him, right? And he looks at me and he goes, can I kiss you? So I'm excited, except that I hate when people ask because that's kind of lame. But anyways, so I'm like, okay. He comes in, mouth open, tongue out, at my face like this. I'm not kidding, this is a true story. So I take it because I'm like, okay, well maybe once it's in, you know, it's gonna get good. It did not get good. It was so not good. Okay, the only couple of like words and phrases I can use to describe is very wet. It was kind of like he'd been licking his lips all day, and then they got chapped, and he kept licking them to make them not chapped, and so like little shreds of skin were kind of coming off. That's what was attacking my mouth. And I mean, it's not like I can't sloppy kiss or get really into it, whatever, but I'm saying, so I literally push him away, and I said, you're not very good at kissing, are you? And he looks at me with his desperate eyes, but he's so excited. You can't, and listen, the whole time, like, he's getting more excited, I'm, like, getting more mean, you know? It's like I have to balance out the room emotionally or something, you know? So, like, the more he smiles and says things like, you're pretty and you're nice and you're funny, I'm not nice at this point. I'm not pretty. I'm not funny. I'm, like, getting mean because I'm also getting mad because he's, like, killing my buzz. You know what I mean? Like, settle down. Kiss normal. So anyways, he's like, I don't know. And then I said, you're not. And then I thought, I can't just, I mean, I drove all the way out here. I walked all the way up the 3 flights of stairs, you know, I gotta at least give him a shot. So I was like, thinking, okay, well, I'll try to teach him. You know what I mean? Lesson learned, you can't teach a dead mouth how to become alive. He's doing this mouth thing, and then I literally have to say, okay, close your mouth. So then he's like really confused because he doesn't know how to kiss with his mouth closed. So it's like a munching thing. Like he's trying, I know, and it's like on my mouth. And then I'm like, my mouth is chapped now, you know what I mean? So I'm like, not that either. And then, okay, so we're getting into it a little bit more, so then he's, I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. So then he's trying to kiss me a little bit more, and then all of a sudden he thinks it's ready for the tongue again or something. It wasn't. I had to tell him to shut his mouth again, and then I was like, okay, listen, let's turn on the thing, we paused the thing to do the whole yoga impersonation or whatever. It was so bad, and I said, you mean you never had a girl tell you that you were bad at this? No. Then he begins to tell me his whole history. I mean, I can talk a lot. But this guy literally told me his whole history of losing his virginity with this girl, and I think it only happened once. Like, I think he had sex once with this girl and never again. And I mean, after the kiss, I understand why, but it was like he basically told me, and this is the reality of it. He said, in a nutshell, because I don't have the time to go into all the facts he told me, but basically he said, yeah, you know, I met her one day, and then I lost my virginity 2 days later to her, and then 2 days later she broke up with me. And I was like, well, why'd she break up with you? And he goes, well, I think that maybe I texted her too much. And I was like, if you think it's because you texted her too much, it is because you texted her too much. It was like 4 times a day, he said. And I was like, oh, that's a bit intense, right? And so then I'm like, he's looking at me, and then I'm like, I don't know what to say at this point. I don't really want to finish any musical with this guy. I don't want him to kiss me. I don't want him to munch on my mouth or my neck or anything else. But I don't want to be rude. I already told him, you know what I mean? You suck at life, pretty much. So then I was like, well, yeah, I gotta go, whatever. So I told my friends the story, and it's usually the girls that I tell. Like, once I told them you suck at kissing, they're like, you ruined it for life, you can't tell them that. But my idea is, like, if I've shrunk down one guy's over big ego, I've done my part in this world. That's it, thank you.